Usually, when someone thinks of horror, they think of someone being home alone, late at night, when everything is dark, where the monsters and murderers are hiding in the shadows, just waiting to rip you apart. But I challenge you that what's more often terrifying is when the evil strikes while you're at your most comfortable, enjoying a sunny day outdoors with your friends and family, a place you should be safe. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 great horror films taking place in the daytime. Number 1, Jaws. Steven Spielberg's monster hit Jaws, which boils down to man versus the awesome power of nature, a theme Spielberg frequently revisits, is considered the original modern blockbuster. Jaws didn't just generate massive box office receipts, it was also met with overwhelmingly positive critical reception, garnering several Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, and it even won on general categories of editing and score. It's understandable because even 50 years later, it's still a remarkable feat of cinematic engineering. And who could forget John Williams' iconic piano chords? Jaws begins with a surprisingly grisly shark attack on the beaches of Amity that sends the sheriff of that town, Martin Brody, played by Roy Scheider, into a panic. The mayor, more concerned with tourism sales, ignores the sheriff, as well as shark expert Matt Hooper, played by Richard Dreyfuss. The beaches remain open during the day for tourists, and a young boy is killed by the shark. Martin, Matt, and resident shark hunter Quint, played by Robert Shaw, team up to take down the shark menace once and for all. Jaws is rife with Spielberg's scope and style. It's a tightly edited, taut thriller with memorable characters and plenty of rousing sequences. If Spielberg is great at anything, it's balancing blockbuster level thrills with themes personal to him and actors that embody relatable characters. So sail over to Peacock, Prime, Sling, or Roku and catch it for its 50th anniversary. Number 2, Midsummer. There are tons of midsummer festivals throughout Europe, and Sweden has their own as well. For this particular midsummer festival, it only occurs once every 90 years. So anybody would be thrilled to go visit this. Or maybe not. We follow Danny, who just lost her entire family, and her boyfriend is getting ready to break up with her and head to Sweden to go to this festival because that's what his thesis is about. After Danny and her boyfriend, Christian, get into a fight, he decides to invite her along, hoping to get her out of this depressive episode. Once they arrive, 2 elders jump off a cliff, sacrificing themselves. This rubs Danny the wrong way and quickly learns she wants to leave. As time goes on, all of her friends are brutally murdered, one of them even tortured in more ways than we'd ever want to know. Eventually, Danny becomes the May Queen, though, and has to decide on the last sacrifice to rid the commune of evil. It's almost bittersweet. She lost her family in the beginning, but gained a new one by the end. Even though it was not what she was expecting, nor did she really want to be a part of it. And yes, the themes here on mental health really do need to be shared, as well as sexual abuse, particularly towards men, a topic that isn't often discussed. It's such an amazing film, though, and I guarantee you will enjoy this trip to Midsummer over on Max, Hulu, Prime, Fandango, Google Play, or Apple TV. Number 3, Funny Games. Funny Games is an engaging, albeit nail-biting, French-German film worth a watch or two. The film starts out during the day with a man knocking at a couple's door, asking to use their phone. The wife doesn't want to let him in, but her husband, against his better judgment, opens the house to them. There's a tension permeating throughout the film that is simply due to the contrast between the antagonist's charm and cruelty. The film is undoubtedly a well-crafted thriller, but the most intriguing element is the fourth wall breaking nature of the film, where often characters are acknowledging the audience with knowing looks towards the camera. The rest of the film is just all about the psychotic killer's agenda and games. Interestingly enough, the director of the film, Mikhail Haneke, remade his own film almost beat for beat with some modernizing updates. The ending remains the same though and has left many audiences with their jaws on the floor at the sudden twist. So make sure to check this out on Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 4, The Birds. Hitchcock's 1963 thriller, The Birds, is a gold standard of the creature feature genre. The film embodies all of Hitchcock's skills as the original master of suspense. The film follows Melanie Daniels, who delivers lovebirds to lawyer Mitch Brenner after he inquires about them, because he wants to give them to his younger sister. For what seems like no inexplicable reason, the birds in Bodega Bay become violent, attacking people during the day. The Birds is based on a 1952 story of the same name, written by Daphne du Maurier. Though the film is considered a classic now and staple in Hitchcock's filmography, it was met with mixed reviews at the time. Granted, it had to follow Hitchcock's magnum opus, Psycho. Over the years, it has been reappraised as a horror classic. Golden Globe winning actors Tippi Hedren plays Melanie and Rod Taylor plays Mitch. Although The Birds was nominated for Best Special Effects, some of it doesn't hold up. Luckily, Hitchcock's craft in editing and cinematography does. It still looks good for a 60-plus-year-old film. While the birds in The Birds aren't given an explicit reason for attacking, the film alludes to everything from psychological manifestations to straight-up environmental ones. So check out The Birds on Prime, YouTube, Google Play, or Fandango. Number 5, The Hills Have Eyes. We originally saw this story in 1977 by Wes Craven, and it's a classic. But we saw the remake in 2006 by Alexandre Aja, and he did an awesome job at this remake. Today, we'll be talking about the remake as it's more modernized than the original. A family from Cleveland is driving across country to San Diego for an anniversary. We have Bob, Ethel, Lynn, Brenda, and Bobby. Then there's Lynn's husband, Doug, and their baby daughter, Catherine, and 2 dogs, Beauty and Beast. At a gas station in the middle of nowhere, a creepy gas station attendant tells them to go a different way, saving the family hours. So they do, but they end up hitting a hidden spike strip and crashing the truck and trailer, leaving them stranded. From that moment on, it's a fight to survive. Just the fact that they are fighting for their lives during the day is wicked. The amount of torture put into this film is crazy, and it's well done. And those kids you see at the beginning of the film, those were actually kids who were affected by Agent Orange back during the Vietnam War. So no special effects there. Make sure to check this out over on Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, or Prime. You can also watch the original over on Prime or Apple TV. And let me know which one you like better. Number 6, Tremors. Tremors was Ron Underwood's feature directorial debut that was released in 1990 as a modest hit and critical darling that would become a cult juggernaut in the home market. Writing partners S.S. Wilson and Brent Maddock would go on to write 3 more Tremors sequels. They would end their tenure on the franchise having written Tremors 1 through 4, having crafted most of the lore. The original film follows Val McKee and Earl Bassett ready to leave town when they stumble across some mysterious deaths. Val is played by Kevin Bacon, who's so prolific, a whole concept, The 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, was popularized by him. The idea he's been in so many different things, you'll probably be able to link someone to him by going through up to 6 people, but I digress. Earl Bassett is played by Fred Ward, who I'll admit I know best as the DJ Qualls' overbearing father in Road Trip. In Tremors, a seismologist picks up an unusual tremors, which turns out to be caused by giant worms of the sort. They become so much more as the series progresses. The entire series are creature features. Kevin Bacon is also only in the first installment. Ward reprises his role for the 1996 straight-to-video sequel. The first two are definitely the best anyway, but you can experience Tremors on YouTube, Google Play, Fandango, or Prime. Number 7, Eden Lake. Imagine going on a weekend getaway with your significant other. It's supposed to be romantic and just to be with each other. But troubles lie ahead in the form of teenagers who couldn't give a shit about what happens to other people. Jenny and Steve go to Eden Lake for the weekend and encounter a gang of teens who become their literal worst nightmare. Initially, small things happen, like bugs in their food, to their car being stolen, all the way to torture and death. During the night is when they play the little pranks, but it's during the day that the evil in these kids and parents comes out to play. I have to say, we've seen a rise in crime among younger generations, and for this 2008 British horror, it explores the concept of evil comes from the parents. Some of these teens were reluctant to join in with the havoc, but it ultimately cost them their lives from the leaders. And the parents weren't shy to dish out some of punishment under the belief that this couple was in the wrong. Daybreak never put the monsters back in the closet. Instead, it released even more. The kills were brutal, and the cinematography is brilliant, with a score that sent shivers down my spine. Definitely take some time to check this out on Tubi, Pluto, Fandango, Plex, The CW, Prime, Fubo, Google Play, or Apple TV. Number 8, The Hitcher. 1986's The Hitcher hits the ground running, or should I say driving. Jim Halsey is delivering a car from Chicago to California, and while driving said car down a desolate Texas desert, Jim picks up a hitcher. Things go south quick when the hitcher, who calls himself John Ryder, admits to butchering people. He taunts Jim with a knife, saying he'll do the same to him. But Jim manages to shove John Ryder out of the car. Unfortunately, the hitcher follows him into a small town, steals his wallet, and plants a knife on him. Jim makes friends with a local waitress named Nash, played by eventual Academy Award-winning actress Jennifer Jason Leigh. Now that both Nash and Jim are being stalked by John Ryder and are in trouble with local law enforcement, The Hitcher stands out from its contemporaries by avoiding campy slasher tropes, as well as over-the-top gore. The film is fairly effective white knuckler. That being said, it did contain a particular death that would put many a slasher to shame. John Ryder has Nash tied by the arms and legs behind his truck and trailer hitch, making the title of the film a disturbing double entendre. I will say, I would almost debate this death only because the camera cuts away once John puts the pedal to the floor. It's staggeringly ruthless death nonetheless, so make sure to check it out on Hulu, Sling, or Prime. Number 9, Who Can Kill a Child? This 1976 Spanish horror is one for the books, as it explores the idea that children can be evil, and to what lengths would one go to protect themselves. Following an English couple as they go to a remote island before the birth of their third child, they end up battling for their lives against many children. It isn't long before the wife ends up dead, and then the husband is attacked at the dock, trying to escape, only to be stopped by the police that are patrolling. In the 1970s, children's actions were more reflected on their parents. But what happens when those parents lack empathy or are just cold towards the kids? Nowadays, we know there are situations where kids can be evil and the innocence isn't there as much. Kids are now taught what to do in active shooter situations at school, or the violence that's seen on the news every night, social media, and whatnot. Taking this concept almost 50 years ago was almost unheard of, but this did become one of the best killer kid films to date, even landing in the top 100 best horror films of all times, and gaining a large cult following. The brutality these kids dish out is insane, and all of the things they do are never at night, always in the light of day. So make sure to check this out on Prime. Number 10, Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk is an intense and taut Western horror film, which is something we don't see enough of, and the film is a great showcase for why we need to see more. While indigenous people are often portrayed as savages in both the horror and Western genres, Bone Tomahawk's extreme take is a deliberate critique of colonialism, as the indigenous culture is ruthlessly against assimilation. The story follows a group of cowboys led by Kurt Russell's Sheriff Franklin Hunt, who have to rescue their friends from said indigenous tribe. Their customs are viewed as savage as they are cannibals. An unforgettable, brutal death in Bone Tomahawk involves the character being split in half and eaten, and it's not hateful, although it is ruthless and apathetic. These cannibals are simply the top of the food chain and eating their prey whenever they can, mostly during the day. What is really highlighted in Bone Tomahawk is that the cannibalism is a deliberate assault on the senses. The uninhabitable visual of the carnage, combined with the brilliant assortment of bone cracking, muscle tissue tearing, squelches, etc., is horrifically callous. Not to mention, all the effects were practical, with makeup, props, all finessing together realistic blood, limbs, and bones. And again, mostly during daylight. So, watch it over on Netflix, Philo, Pluto, Fandango, Google Play, Amazon Prime, Redbox, or YouTube. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. We're also now on Blue Sky. You can find us at studiosfat.bsky.social, which will also link below. If you're really enjoying our content and want to help support us, click that join button for exclusive content, rewards, and perks. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again and take care.